Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And you can probably tell because you're looking at the tailgate of my truck that it's going to be a flea market adventure. I hit the local flea market in Fishkill, New York, Route 9 and 84. It's a little distance from the house, but sometimes it's worth the trip. I also like hitting it on a Saturday because it's less crowded. Though there is less stuff there. There's more stuff on Sunday. Saturday, the crowds aren't there and it's easier to get about. Anyway, first, I normally buy things kind of in batches. These are wheelchair ramps. And they came with this thing, mini iron. I figured this would be really good as a plastic welder. And I gave the guy 20 bucks for that. These were interesting. When I was a kid growing up, they had these carnivals that would come into town, kind of go to the local fairgrounds. I specifically remember this game from Goshen, New York, probably around 1970. You'd have all these, you know, I guess one would call them ducks, right? And they'd be floating around in this bin, and you would ring toss and try to get them. And depending on what number was on the bottom of the duck, that kind of determined what kind of game you would get, or what kind of win you would have. So anyway, the story on these is a friend of mine sells at the market, and there was this guy behind him, and at the end of the day, the guy said to him, why don't you take everything I have left for 50 bucks, and then you could come back tomorrow and sell it again. And my buddy said, okay. And these ducks were in there. I just thought they were an interesting thing. I happen to be one of those people who believes a bit in karma, right? Good karma, bad karma, you know. And I figured when it comes to these ducks, right, normally you go to a fairs, excuse me, a fair or something, and everybody's in this really, really great mood. So I figured I'd bring them home, rescue them from the sure garbage, and maybe they'd bring me a bunch of good luck and karma and so forth. Another buddy of mine, matter of fact, the guy I got these ramps from, when I was buying the ramps, we were kind of going back and forth, and I said to him, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 20 bucks and this duck. And he goes, let me see the duck. And we flipped it over, and there was a number 8 underneath. And he goes, okay, I'll take the 20 bucks. And I said, do you mind me asking why? And he goes, you know, I keep running across this number 8, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to win now. So he took the duck with the 8, and he took my bid of 20 bucks. So quite honestly, by him taking the duck with the 8, because all of these were 3, I saved like 5 bucks on this deal, and so I'm $2 ahead on the ducks already. So there we are. There was this woman there who was just interesting to talk to, so I was kind of talking to her, and she had these crystals. Now, I have a few of these hanging downstairs in the basement, you know, during the long winters. You know, as the sun is low on the horizon and it shines through these, it casts rainbows in the basement. So, kind of cool to look at, especially during the winter, right? Long, cold winter. She also had these light bulbs and a necklace for the wife. And this thing is interesting. It is a pocket knife, a lighter, and a corkscrew all into one. I guess that way you can hit all your bad habits and just need one device to do them all. Anyway, I gave her 15 for all of it. You know, not a steal of a deal, but I thought it was unique and interesting, so I was happy with it. My buddy George, who has all the mini bikes, I got this load from him, and it was 31. I bought this because, you know, it's a faucet wrench underneath the sink typically for tightening the bolts for the faucets from the back. I don't have one, so I picked that up. These are Utica, made in Utica, New York. Dyson, USA. So I got those. I bought this. It's made by Rigid, and mainly I bought it because I couldn't figure out what it was. My guess is obviously Rigid has something to do with plumbing. It only goes one way and you can't reverse it, right? So I'm thinking maybe it's some kind of easy out situation. It does have this thing for what appears to be setting depth, and it's got this additional cutter off the side. I thought it was interesting, so I threw it in. I grabbed this. Somebody took a lot of time grinding on a big Allen key, but I need the flat edge here. You know, the those Honda caps, some of them are really tough to get out. I got that ATC 200 up there now, as a matter of fact. So I bought this to remove them. This compression tester is, you can see it on there, Matco, M-A-T-C-O. So I got that. It's got all the fittings, you know, compression testing. My Honda Hoard. I bought these. I'm not quite sure what they do for a living, but I thought they were interesting. And every once in a while, when you're working on stuff, whether it's valves or whatever, sometimes you see a tool that you say, boy, if I just had that. So I picked them up, threw them in the litter. These looks like they're pearled. I thought they were made in Italy. Anyway, I think they are made in Italy. Pair of duck bills. And the tire and wheel, I don't know if you guys could see it and all. It's a 22-7-10. It holds air, and anyway, so that whole batch from George was 30 bucks. And then lastly, I buy from these people all the time. They kind of let me pick my stuff out, and I just name the price and they always take it. But these are for like extension cords, so you can hang them. This is a multi-outlet strip. The reason why I bought it is because it has 10 outlets, and for that grinder bench that I'm putting together, I need 10 outlets. These are gauges for thickness, but with the wire it's a little easier. I was thinking about this as I was setting the gap on the Honda inside the ATC 200. You guys will see that video soon. Anyway, I was thinking the gap between the pulsar and the magnet were a little too much, so I reset it by eye, and I thought, boy, if I had one of those wire gauges. And there I am at the flea market, sure enough, it shows right up. So I grabbed that. This is a medicine container full of small screws. A lot of times with these small ones, there's just no way to find them, so I grabbed these. This is Gator gripper, solid brass compression fitting. Some people use these for brake lines, not for use in auto brake line systems. But I got another project I'm kind of fooling with, and I thought it could be handy for it. Stainless steel brush. I was trying to clean out the fins on the head and all in that Honda, and I said, boy, that'll come in handy. Loctite gasket. So I checked it, it's not hard. Another charger for the phones. A punch. I need to sharpen this up more to a point and all. I need this to get those rings off that piston. I thought these were interesting. Radio Shack. You guys remember Radio Shack? They haven't been gone that long. I'm sure you guys still remember them. This is a compass, obviously, drawing circles. The nice thing is you could set how tight this is by spinning this knob, and then you can send the pencil in and out, loosen and tighten. A lot of the cheap ones, you kind of have to hold them, and sometimes they change dimensions as you're trying to draw a circle. I find myself with more fab idea type stuff, and I think this will be really helpful for, you know, laying things out. This is just a connector for cable, but I think I might be able to drill it out and use it for a carburetor, fuel. And lastly, this is an antenna, automatic antenna, up and down. I just want the antenna, not the automatic part. And I think by extending the antenna on my DeWalt radio, I'll get better reception. So anyway, I gave her 15, or him 15, for this entire load of stuff. So I'm able to put everything I bought into that basket, including those slide-up ramps. Slide-up ramps, I want to use those. I still have in my mind a cart, bench, and I was thinking if I could set up the cart bench so that one side goes down, and then you got ramps like that, and then you can winch it. Once you kind of get it over center a little bit, you can rock it the rest of the way up. So you know, another fab project, right, with all my spare time. So that's the lot for today. Actually bought quite a bit of stuff looking at it all now, or spent quite a bit of money, didn't get that much stuff. Anyhow, I'd like to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Don't let your time get by you. If you enjoy going to the flea market, just do it. All right, bye now.